Hello and welcome again to another tutorial. First of all, again, I would like to say a special thank you to all of you who are giving me such nice comments. I always enjoy them very, very much, and as I said, thank you so much. But this tutorial today, I'd like to show you, as one German YouTube fan asked me, how can I do nice corners with a tape that I add around, as an example for tablecloths that I would like to make, or maybe for a lapel on a jacket on a sacco. This is not very difficult as long as you follow all the steps as I will be showing you. So here, first of all, I'd like to show to you something I prepared already, because that's what it's going to look like. This material is from a tablecloth that I made and from some cushions, and I made two different possibilities here for you. This is one with the artificial leather piece where I did the corners with nicely. This is the proper side. If I turn it around to the left side, you can see it's not so evenly done, but that doesn't matter. It's my left side. So that would be, as I said, for a lapel or for a sacco or jacket. And if you say, okay, but I would like to do it maybe on my little cosmetic bag or on a tablecloth or on a cushion, then you have to cut maybe from the same material a sideways going stripe of the material in the width you like to do it, and as well then finish it off. And the left side would look like that then. You could even use that as the proper side, but here the proper side is with the stitching over, and exactly that I will show to you in this video. Before I show you how to make the corners with the tape, I like to give you a little hint here in case if you don't know this. It makes some jobs a little bit easier for you. This is a so-called tape maker set, as you can see here. I bought this in the usual online shops, you get them anywhere, for really only a couple of pounds, dollars or euros. They do not cost much. I got here 4 different sizes, which means for the widths of however you're going to cut your tapes. This is a very small one of 24 millimeters, but you can do any other ones, and like I said, maybe there's many more sizes than those 4 that I got here. And I'd just like to show you, in case if you don't know how to use this, how I'm doing it. So I've chosen this small one of 24 millimeters. I just cut this bit off because there's a seam here which makes it a bit thick in there. So first of all, what you do is, before you like to try to put it into your shaper or tape maker, cut yourself a nice pointed bit here on your tape. Now push it in as far as it wants to go for the start, and if it doesn't want to come out, it's nice, you got this space here, then you could pull it through with a needle, or in my case I made it pointed enough so it came out all the way anyway. So now again I take my needle, I pull this through a little bit, and I hold this in position with my needle right here, so it doesn't, so it's held by something or by somebody. Then you take your ironing, and you just start a little bit, and you can see already this former really shaped it the way it's supposed to be for me to work with very well. And now make sure your tape is lying straight, not curled up, so it can really smooth and even go into this maker. And now I push it down in the front. How you're holding it at the back doesn't really matter. I push it right there, and I can go along all the way, keep on going, and I got a very well made tape prepared for whatever job I like to do with this. I think my ironing was a little bit too hot here. It pulled it a little bit more together. That was my fault. This is not from the shaper, as this is the real width here now. So you can see it's good that this happens while I'm showing this to you, because it means test a little bit first to see if your iron got the right temperature on. This was a little bit too hot, or maybe because of the explanation I had standing on too long, but that should be the real widths my tape will have. And now you can stitch it on this way on the left side of the material, and then turn it over and do the other side, and you have a perfect even tape all around the garment, the thing, whatever you're sewing on the edge. Or it's also nice to just make some holders for a shirt. You can make these small ones like that very, very well. But now to do the corners, I prepared something here, and I cut this one on 3.5 centimeter. It's sideways cut, as these stripes, these tapes are also cut sideways. And I only iron over one side, approximately 1/4, because that would be the other quarter, and then I would fold it up towards the middle again. So only iron one side over for yourself to do this particular job now of finishing off corners on a tablecloth or anything where you like to have a nice taped finish on the corner. So here we do this now. So how to finish these corners nicely off, neatly off, I will show you with a leather stripe how to do it, and as well with the same material as the piece you're working with will be. So first of all, turn your part over so the left side is facing you. This one I showed you, I already ironed over. And we're first of all going to do this side, this corner for you. Left side is facing you, and you put your stripe on the way that the right side is down towards the left side here. Now I'm stitching this on approximately again 1/4 of the whole width of my tape that I had here. Rather a little bit less, because as it has to go around, it usually takes quite a bit of material away for the edge. So rather leave this a little bit smaller. Now before I get to the end, I will stop exactly in the same distance towards this side as I got here. So if I have 6 millimeters here to the edge, I have to stop there 6 millimeters before I get to the end of the material. And very important, get this last stitch really tight on. Now take a pencil or something and mark yourself where your material finishes underneath. That is important, because right here now we're going to turn this over. Before you turn it over, I show you, we must stitch a right angle corner into here. That's approximately what this will look like. So where I marked it, where my material is finished here, this is where I will fold it over, and underneath this has got to be out of the way, because you don't want to stitch this on. Here, edge and edge onto each other evenly. Now I start exactly where my last stitch was here, which we've just done. Exactly there I start, and I go to the end of my corner there, and now I turn it and stitch down. So I did create a right angle here. I know it's not so easy to see, maybe you can see it a little bit. Now I just take a little bit of the material away, otherwise this is quite a thick material, otherwise I can't turn this so well. And now, that was our first stitch, this right angle, the second one. Now you fold this over, and again there was where the last stitch was, you start stitching the next side on. As an example, if this would be a tablecloth that you're doing, then you would go all the way around now first, but as I'm only showing you little bits here, just so you know how to do this corner, I'm stopping there. So now in this corner that you stitched, you turn this over, and already you see that is your left side of the material. The corner is practically done. Now push it out neatly. If there's too much material inside that corner, cut some more out. And now you can either go on the ironing board and iron it for you to make it even easier, or you do what I'm doing. You turn this over now, as that side is the iron side that we got there, and start wherever you want to, depending on if you went all the way around or not. And now stitch this part down exactly in the width as you decided to do this. Push everything nice inside. If you think you got some width in there, then take my trick pattern here and help yourself by holding this down on that side. The better it will get. And now turn it over and continue all the way along this part that you want to finish off nicely, nice and neatly. Keep on looking underneath, although the underneath is not so important. If you don't catch it underneath the same as on the top, now if you iron this, you will have a beautiful corner there. The left side looks almost as neat as that, as you can see. If you iron that, this left side looks just as good as the right side will do. But now I also show you how to do this with a piece of leather, because this material, I cannot iron this. I cannot iron this edge over, but for you, you will see it a little bit better even on this, I think. Again, first I got to stitch it on the left side on. That's my left side. This is my right side. So I start anywhere there. Again, I got to stop early enough with my seam here. Again, I mark it all the way across in this case, because I will have to fold this over to continue correctly. So here, so here is my last stitch, and I want to create this right ankle right here. That means again, now, after I folded this over like that, I put it into this mark that I made myself there, put this out of the way, put edge on edge here for my tape, and start exactly there on my last stitch that I had there. Go all the way with a small stitch from my machine into this corner, and now I go down. And again here I must make sure that this stitch will not open up for me. So here you can see my right ankle that I stitched. And again here, I take a little bit of the material out. It's a bit too much for me there. And now, again, I do this other side. So if this, let's say you're doing a tablecloth like that, of course you do all the way around first. But I'm only showing you one corner as, well, I actually show you two corners, but that is enough for you then to be able to do this. And again here, you just stitch this. Like I said, you go all the way around. Now, you're turning this over. If you have a thick material, you can cut it out a little bit to make sure it will all go into your corner. This is our left side here. As I mentioned, here will be the right side. So again, do this corner nicely and neat for you, turned around. And here you can see you have to start sewing there. Make sure you're covering that seam, that it doesn't look out. And I will need a little pattern. I just dropped one, so I get another one here. And I'm putting this in the width I want it. Put my pattern underneath, because this leather that I got here, my foot does not want to glide over, so I have to use a stitch exactly into that corner, turn around, covering my seam here, take my pattern, put it underneath, and I slowly go along that edge, covering my seam from underneath. Alright, here we go. Here you got the one with the leather, which I couldn't iron over before. This is the one we made with the actual material that I got. And here you can see, here I caught this, but that is underneath. Here I didn't catch it. It doesn't matter. Important is that this side looks correctly, as that is my right side. Well, I hope I gave you a good hint with this, how to do corners on any part that you need. As an example, this is a very, very nice corner to do on a jacket. If you don't want to do a normal seam and turn it around, you could leave it lying open and then finish your jacket or your sacco off with a corner in leather like that. It makes it look really nice and easy. All right. I hope you enjoyed this and hope to come around again. Bye for now. Tschüss.